What's up guys, it's Tat and welcome on into yet another episode of reading and reacting to your hot takes in Dead by Daylight. If you want to participate, it's really simple. Just leave your hot take in the comment section down below. It could be about literally anything. It could be perks, add-ons, killers, powers, whatever. And yeah, let's get on with the video. Nurse is not difficult to play. You know what? I don't even have to read the rest of this. This is just facts. This is literally true. I completely agree with this. She is not nearly as difficult as people make her out to be. She can probably be a little difficult on console with those analog sticks, but if you're on keyboard and mouse, like as long as you memorize like her blink range, you're literally never going to lose a game in your entire life. you can't make immediately following buff nurse. A good portion of the community doesn't play the game out of enjoyment anymore. They play out of habit, leading to what toxicity and just general complaints there is. I completely agree. I haven't played a whole lot of Dead by Daylight the last 2 weeks, guys. I've been mostly playing Call of Duty Zombies. And when I do stream and I do play DBD, it's like for 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, I'm just running out the clock, man. I'm just waiting for Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm pretty bored with the current state of DBD. So that's why I've been making all kinds of new videos like this, so I don't have to play the game, because right now there's nothing to do in the game. There's no events going on right now. I finished all the Chaos Shuffle stuff, so I'm just kind of twirling my thumbs waiting for a Springtrap. But yeah, just try different stuff in the game, and if you're still not having fun, just like take a break, man. Take a couple weeks off to go play the new Elden Ring or something else. Ghostface is right there in D tier with Skull Merchant and Trapper. All of the previous D tier killers got buffed and in my opinion moved to C. Due to that, I think Ghostface got creeped down to D tier. His stealth isn't the worst, but his reveal hurts him a lot, especially against Survive with friends that stay on his ass. He has absolutely zero form of anti-loop. At least Myers is a little faster vaults and lunge. Not to mention he has like 3 good add-ons, so bottom line, he has a power that can be heavily shut off and no anti-loop. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to really argue with you here. I mean, yeah, Ghostface is a very, very weak killer. I don't know if I would actually put him in D, probably like bottom C. Because the one shot is kind of nice to have, same with Myers. But I think they could maybe do what they did in 2v8 for Ghostface, where they just give him like a 10% haste boost when he has his power. They could maybe redefine his speed so that maybe he doesn't get like bloodlust or something when he's using his ability. But like maybe if he was just like always 5 meters a second in his shroud, it would feel a little better. That would give him something to do in chase and also a little bit of map traversal. I don't really know what else they could possibly do though. While slugging is understandably annoying, it's not really the job of the developers to give survivors easy ways out of being slugged. Speaking as a survivor main, 9 out of 10 times being slugged is because of poor grouping by survivors. Killers shouldn't be punished for taking advantage of that. I don't think you're going to have many people necessarily say that killers should be like quote unquote punished for slugging. I think unless they're like really stupid. Like if you genuinely think, oh, killers shouldn't be allowed to slug me, and you probably haven't played killer in your entire fucking life. That said, there's no reason for like the killer as an example to just like slug everyone at 5 gens, especially if they don't necessarily see another survivor. So there are killer players that do go out of the way to slug, knowing damn well that Unbreakable is out of meta right now, and that's just not really pleasant. I don't really know if there's a proper way to fix this or to like maybe mitigate it. The only thing they have done, which admittedly actually feels really nice, is the abandon feature, where if you get everybody down or hooked, you can just immediately disconnect without a penalty. You keep your points, all your challenge progress and stuff, and that feels great. That cleans up a lot of the rough edges of the game, and now that also counts as a loss internally as well because they fixed that recently. I think that's in a perfectly fine spot. I don't know what they're gonna do with slugging in the future. Apparently it is on the roadmap, so I'm a little worried, but at the same time I am intrigued. The iridescent stone add-on for Trapper should be base kit with a few tweaks to increase the time that trap resets at the cost of being base kit. I hear there's a lot, and as someone who has, you know, P100 on Trapper, honestly I don't think him resetting his traps is the problem. It's really just that he, like, by the time he's set up, he's lost the game. So if you let him set up quicker, in turn you're gonna win more matches. So I don't think that Eerie Stone should be base kit, but I do think that he should at least start with like 7 out of his like 11 bear traps, and then you could just give him 2 add-ons that like increases trap count by 1 and another one that increases trap count by 2, so you can have 10. But just make him start with 7 bear traps and no longer have any traps in the environment, and I think he would honestly feel a hell of a lot better. Apart from the legacy skin, every piece of cosmetic, so skins, deproof skins, banners, emblems, and charms should be obtainable, and both behavior and players would win, because in my opinion there is more people who would love being able to obtain everything than people who want to gatekeep cosmetic. Yeah, I don't know what it is with people like saying, well, I earned it in El Rift like 4 years ago, man, so like it should be mine. Like that, like, dude, like, even if you have to buy it for like $10, I don't see what the problem would be to like bring back old cosmetics. And you know, they do have like a couple skins on rotation from the Rift bundles and stuff, but those are, I don't think they're necessarily randomized, but I believe they only appear like once every year. The top tier killers have never been easier to play against. They are still top tier, and there's a massive gap in killer balance, trapper to nurse. However, the top tier killers have been nerfed in ways that make them the easiest to play against they have ever been. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna really argue with this. This is just objectively true. I mean, yeah, like Nurse, Blight, they're no longer as strong as they once were. They're definitely, you know, very, very powerful still, but there could definitely be improvements made for both the top tiers and the low tiers. So yeah, I do agree. All right, so in the last video, I believe it was the last video, it might have been the one before, I had a commenter talk a little bit about Knight. I think it was literally just like buff Knight was the was the only comment there, and now I'm getting a bunch of Knight buff like comments. So this is one that I picked out here. Allow Knight to use guards to break stuff while another is chasing without stopping the chase. This would actually be kind of dope. Like, maybe as long as you don't like place the guard out in open, it shouldn't eliminate the guard. So you should be able to have one guard chasing someone or like searching an area, and then you should use another guard to like go break a generator or a wall or you know, a drop pallet. I think this is a pretty decent balance between the limitation of one guard, but then also the utility of using multiple. I'm in agreement with this. I think that's pretty sick. Every survivor perk that rewards them for losing, for example, off the record, decisive strike, dead hard, etc., should be removed. All of these perks reward players for playing poorly, while most, if not all, killer perks reward players for downing and hooking survivors. They reward players for doing well in a chase. I'm gonna have to disagree, solely just because I don't think every single match of Dead by Daylight is necessarily gonna be like this top 1% experience. I mean, most of the player base, let's be honest, they don't look behind them when they're running. So I don't think we should hard limit the accessibility of the game. And hey, you know, some people, like my girlfriend for example, gets tunneled all the time in Dead by Daylight. Isn't that right? You get tunneled
all the time?
Yeah, she gets tunneled all the time. So she puts on DS or off the record just so that she can last more than like 3 minutes. So if she couldn't do that, she probably would never touch the game. The original 𝗥𝗴𝗂𝗏 res effect was fine. It just needed the numbers reduced to either 12 or 10%. I partially agree. I think the old like aura, was it aura? No, it was the scream thing, right? It would make you scream, so it'd kick you off the gen, and the killer knew where you were, and then they would immediately go to your gen. I fucking hated that. that was stupid. But there's like this brief window where they nerfed pain res, so it was like 15%, but it didn't make you scream anymore. I thought that was fine. I would be okay with pain res if it was like 8, 9, 10%, or even like 10, 11, 12%, and it didn't make you scream and kick you off the gen or anything. I think that would be way more consistent and just generally more useful than the take a chunk off the gen like it does now, up to 4 times a match. So Dying Light should work in reverse. You start at max tokens and lose tokens as you hook survivors. Hooking survivors at 2 hook removes more tokens, and so does killing a survivor. This is a good idea. This is actually a good idea. So it's a perk that self-balances itself, basically. So everyone starts the match with, what would that be? Like a 27% penalty to repair or something? And then each time the killer hooks someone, that goes down by 3%. That's interesting. And if you're trying to like tunnel out one person, you lose even more tokens. That's kind of cool, actually. Not that bad of an idea. I wonder how this would work in gameplay. Behavior over the past year and a half has catered more towards casuals or the new player base, but in the wrong way. Removing unhook grabs, adding anti-camp meters, making hook times longer, gen break and pallet break stronger in many ways has made the game way too easy for long-time players. However, the actual player entry for DBD is still god-awful. I've talked to many people who are new to Dead by Daylight, and their basically always #1 complaint is that getting perks by having to pay money as the easiest way is actually like the reason they are leaning to drop the game or have dropped the game. Behavior would have much more success with their player retention if instead of putting characters in bundles to buy, they just released a bunch of old original chapters to be free. At least so people have more options and can get used to how the game works and spending bullet points to get perks without already worrying about microtransactions. Also reworking the shrine, it's so out of date. The more chapters release, the worse it gets for new players. This is so true. It's exponential, really. Behavior has tried to help this by lowering the cost of DLCs that have like released in the earlier years. But I completely agree with you. Like they should just make like the first 3 years worth of content or even the first 4 years worth of content like base game at this point and just have the discounts starting on year like 4 or 5. Like I don't understand why they still need to charge you to buy the plague. That like you're not gonna be making nearly as much money off the plague as you are with like 𝗥𝗴𝗂𝗘𝗏 as an example. So why have that as a limit? It just, yeah, I agree. Decisive Strike is a stupid perk. It should be removed. Yeah, sure, man. And that's it, guys. Those are the hot takes this time around. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed this video and drop your hot takes down below. Again, it could be about literally anything in Dead by Daylight. Hell, it could be even about the color of Coldwind if that's what you want to say. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.